all the moving parts, but we're here. Welcome everybody to the week 1 of Shrink a Size. Most of you are a few days into your detox week. And you're doing amazing. You are doing great. Keep up the great work. I know some questions have been coming in into our private Facebook group. And so make sure you're paying attention to the official content that's coming into that group to educate you throughout this Shrink a Size program. One of the awesome ways that we are really helping you master the TLS lifestyle and shrink a size in 5 weeks is these amazing Monday night webinars that we will be doing. And today I have a very special guest, and I'm excited for her to share. It's her area of expertise and passion. So I will definitely let her share a little bit more about that. Let me go ahead here. All right. So as most of you know, my name is Melanie Nelson. I'm the director of TLS. I've been in the health industry since 2000. Super excited about having Sosan on our Zoom tonight. She's been a registered dietitian since 2003, a certified diabetes educator since 2005. She's a weekly guest on a radio show about health and nutrition since 2008. She's one of our TLS certified trainers and has been since 2012. And she specializes in, helping people create healthier blood sugar levels. And it's a big part of her passion, which is why she's on tonight to tell us a little bit about all of that fun stuff. So, Suzanne.
I know, I'm so happy to be here. So, as you know, like I've been practicing for almost 19 years, going on 20 years, almost 2 decades, right? And as you know, I'm absolutely passionate about anything with blood sugar, just because my grandmother died from diabetes complication. And I often say, you know what, prevention is key. And when I found TLS, I absolutely love it because the whole concept of TLS is so aligned with what I learned in my certified diabetes. It's all about your glycemic impact. And it's just that you found your perfect match. And when you kind of combine them together, you get amazing results. And I often say we're all different, right? Melanie and I are different. We have different meal plan because we have different goals, and same as for you. And that's what makes TLS so unique, because a lot of plans out there is a one size fits all. It's either you fit in it or you don't. They don't even give you another plan. But what I really love about TLS, there's so many different plans. You choose the one that works for you. Maybe you're at the time of your life where you want something that is maybe sure and steady, or maybe you're heading for a big trip and you want to look your best and feel your best. You might go with rapid result, or you might do the fat shredder. But that's the great thing. There's so many choices around that, and I love that. And I think that's what makes it unique. And like I always say, it's not just about losing the fat or losing the weight, it's maintaining it. And maintaining it means when you look at the program and you look at it, it's nothing extreme, it's sensible, simple eating. And that's what I love about it, because we know fat diet, like I always use the analogy, it's like trendy clothes, they come and go, but your basic t-shirt always stays, and that is TLS.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you said something about how, a lot of fad diets out there overcomplicate things.
Yes.
And so when people look at TLS and it's so simple, they're like, oh, does this really work?
Yes. Yes. And it's true. It's funny because I think a lot of people feel like for a problem that many people are dealing with, such as being overweight and having such a hard time losing the fat, they often thinking it's the fact that it's so hard, that means the answer or the solution has to be complicated. And when the solution is too simple, they almost scratched their head and could not believe it. And when they chose not to believe it, they don't want to try it. And when they try it, they wish they tried it earlier because they couldn't believe that simplicity is really the key. And like I said before, when it's simple, you will follow. And it's not just about doing it short term. We're looking for long-term permanent change. And that's what I love about TLS.
For sure. As a registered dietitian, people are coming to you to get results.
Yes.
And TLS delivers results. There's a lot of things in life that are complicated. We do not need to complicate our food.
Yes, definitely not to complicate our food. And one thing you add is true, because I don't work in hospital. I work in private practice. And private practice is they pay for your service. They want result. When you don't get result, you're not just losing that client. It's affecting your reputation. And I get a lot of referral, and I built a great reputation because the program works. As simple as that.
Absolutely. I love that. So before we continue, just our disclaimers as per usual. And we're just always encouraging people to consult with their healthcare provider, and that we're not intending to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease. So just as a quick review, TLS Shrink a Size is 5 weeks. Many of you are a few days in. Some of you started early. Some of you started a few days late. All good. You're on a 5-week journey. We're all moving together at the same pace with some momentum, following one of our TLS menu plans. Either the Jumpstart program, Rapid Results, or Sure and Steady are the recommended plans. Maybe some of you will throw a 2-week fat shredder in there. That's great. You're going to utilize at least 3 TLS branded products. These are things like Core and CLA and the TLS shakes and green coffee and all of those amazing products. Trum Tea, Trum Cafe, my favorites. And so
My favorite too.
yeah, we're talking not during detox, of course, but on the weeks we're not detoxing, exercising 4 times a week for 30 minutes, 2 cardio, 2 strength, and then checking in. We definitely encourage you to check in with your coach weekly. But we are doing these Monday nights. We're checking in on you on the page with our official content. We want you to comment. We want you to say hi. We want you to ask your questions. We want you to celebrate the amazing meal you made. Definitely participate and have fun with us during this process. So Zan, take it away.
Oh, my favorite topic. I can talk about this in my sleep. So low glycemic impact eating. I think when a lot of people see the word glycemic, they say, oh, it's all about blood sugar. I have no blood sugar issue, therefore this is not for me. But there's so many other health benefits aside from maintaining healthy blood sugar is promote cardiovascular health. I think, as you know, up till now, this is still the number one concern for many, many, many years. It's still number like top, right? When you look at a lot of mortality and so forth. Second, on top of that, it assists your body to burn fat. You don't want to just lose weight. You want to burn fat here, right? And it improves energy. So while a lot of people might be losing weight, but they might be feeling tired, this one actually help you to improve your energy. And low GI food assists in a healthy inflammatory response. And we love that all this is without deprivation. I always say, if you're being deprived, you're not going to maintain for a long time. And low glycemic impact is for a long time. And to really ensure that you have maximum what the concept of low glycemic impact, it's planning ahead and tracking it. Because how many people say, okay, I think I'm eating low glycemic impact, but if you are not tracking it, you might be off and you might not be aware of it. And when you see it progressing slow, it could be because you're not tracking. And I know a lot of people say, I'm very busy, but I don't want to track. But at the beginning, when you start tracking, you become more aware. That awareness will come very natural. Eventually, you stop tracking. I'm sure Melanie and I, when we eat right now, we don't track because it's part of us. It's part of the routine. But at the beginning, when you just start anything, you need to track so that you can see where is it that I need to tweak and so forth. And it's about eating 3 meals and 2 snacks about 3 to 4 hours apart because we want to keep that blood sugar even. Steven, I always say, because we don't want it too high, we don't want it too low. So spacing it out, planning ahead of time so that you don't fall off track at the same time as you don't get surprises, right? How many people say, oh, I wish I could do that. It's because something happened. But if you plan ahead, that whatever that things happen, you can plan and you will not fall off track, which I think is very important, right? And I also want to add that if you are looking for tools, this is another thing that I didn't add at the beginning. There's not many program out there. Like as a dietitian, whenever I create program, I have to do everything on my own. In this program, you are given everything, like everything, and they are professionally done. They're beautiful. And you can see that we have this is an example of rapid result recipe. We have the menu plan so that you know what to eat. If you're wondering, oh, what do I buy? Literally print that off, go to a shopping mall, go to a grocery store and literally just buy on that list. If even better, you might even highlight some of your favorite food and go and shop. It's so simple. And like I said before, it's a tracking sheet, right? This tracking sheet is really tracking your progress to see if you're on track, because it's not just about what you eat. It's about hydration. We need to drink enough water. It's about taking supplement. It's about moving your body, every aspect of it. And this is why this program is unlike any other program. It's not just focused on food, it's focused on total health. And I think that's the most important.
For sure. And just so everyone is aware, we're highlighting rapid results, but you might be on the Jumpstart program and it has the booklet with the power foods
Yeah.
list. You know, if you're on Sure and Steady, it's got the power foods list. These tracking sheets are both in the journal, in the 12-week health guide and journal, and then there's a digital version on the under resources, under program downloads. It's literally called digital tracking sheet. You can download them if you're more of a computer person. If you're like me, you like to print them out in pen and paper, you know, take a picture, send it to your coach, you know, kind of thing. But I couldn't agree with Suzanne more. Planning and tracking was the key to me changing my lifestyle 17 years ago. You know, when I was looking to lose the 25 pounds of extra fat I was carrying, you know, there was a reason I was carrying that. And in order to change my habits, I really had to plan and I really had to track. 17 years later, do I need to do that as much? No, unless I really have a goal, like I'm about to go do a Tough Mudder, or I'm gonna, like, you know, do something so crazy that I need to like make sure I'm on track, right?
Yes.
So just utilize the tools we provide for free, for sure.
So one of the things that you probably heard is GI. So GI is a ranking system, right? And it's measuring the carbohydrate in food according to how it affects on blood sugar. So simply put, if it's high GI means that it breaks down to sugar fast. If it's low GI, it breaks down to sugar slower. So as you know, we want it to be more eating more low GI and less of high GI, or in fact, avoid high GI as much as we can.
Right. So all foods, Suzanne, have been ranked in this index, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So all the carbohydrate rich food. So you probably find that protein may will not be ranking there. You will not see butter ranking there because they're protein and fat. But anything contain carbohydrate will have it. You can see there's protein listed here, but these proteins are legumes, and legume does have carbohydrate, and that's why they're ranking it. And this is a great starting point because you simply see is low, medium, and high. And we wanted, I often say, like, I love the the traffic light, right? Green, go for it. Yellow, it's caution. Then red, stop. As simple as that. And if you're not getting result, ask yourself, are you choosing mostly red? Maybe that's the reason why you're not getting the result. But if you're choosing mostly green, you will notice that you are progressing very well and you're loving the result you're seeing.
Yeah, and so I want to bring some focus over here to grain and starches. And you see whole wheat bread at 71, muesli at 80, baked potatoes at 85, oatmeal at 87, taco shells at 97, white bread, bagels, all high, all way above 70,
Yeah.
which is 70 is considered high, you
Yeah.
guys. And so we want to really avoid those things that are not on our power foods list, right? So we're really eliminating a lot of processed foods here, really returning to the garden patch or the farm, as I say, because those foods are from nature and those are always going to be low to medium glycemic index.
And I'm glad that you were talking about that because I want to when you mentioned the whole wheat bread, that was 71. And most people think anything brown is healthy. Isn't it true? Anything white is not healthy, and brown is because it's brown. We first thing it's whole wheat, it's fiber, but you'll be quite surprised that whole wheat bread is 71. Yes, compared to white bread is lower, but it's still a high GI food. So when you're eating a sandwich and eating whole wheat bread, you might think that you're eating a food that is actually good from managing blood sugar, but you're not. And that is the reason why. So don't just, I mean, color white obviously does say something, but don't just look for white. Really look at these numbers and helping you it give you a reference, right? So you kind of see, okay, this is mostly red, so I can choose mostly that. And this is why we created the power food. The power food is it's all greens, mostly green. Maybe some of them are a bit on the yellow, but there's no red in there. And that's why we want to make it simple for you. Instead of you download the GI index and listing all the foods, just simply follow the power. I mean, you can do that, but I don't think you want to because that's a lot of work. So just make your life simple. Just simply download the, like, for example, rapid result and just follow that power food, take that guide, go shopping and literally shop from that list. As simple as that. But in what makes the TLS very special is not just looking at one aspect, which is a glycemic index, which I just shared you is measuring how fast it breaks down into sugar. But we also look into glycemic load because it's not talking about the quality of the food, but the quantity. How much are you eating that food? So it's you need to take into account both the index as well as the load, which is looking at the quantity as well as quality. So even things that may have been good quality, but when you eat a high quantity, it still has a certain impact on your blood sugar. And that's why we need to kind of marry both, take that both into account when to in terms of affecting your blood sugar. And I love the example, which is healthier carrots or M&M. Everybody will say M&M is not healthy and carrots are healthy. But you'll be quite surprised that when you look at the glycemic index, carrots is actually slightly higher than M&M. And that's why people were like scratching their head and say, I don't get it. I thought carrots are healthy. And because carrots, from a glycemic index, it is thus sweet, right? Carrot is sweet. But think about glycemic load. How much carrot can you really eat? You have to eat like cups of it. I mean, I'm talking about cups and cups of it to get certain glycemic impact. But think about M&M. How many people stop at 1 or stop at 5? No way. Once you start opening that box of M&M, you finish it. And this is why from a glycemic load, M&M is not a good choice. Because if you keep eating, like say M&M and say, oh, I want to eat 5, that would have been fine, actually, to be honest. If your goal is about losing weight, eating
Not on Shrinkasize though. Not on Shrinkasize.
Not on Shrinkasize, but
no 5 M&Ms on Shrinkasize.
but no,
that
but,
was not permission.
Yes, no,
that was not permission.
Okay, but Shrinkasize, because in Shrinkasize, your goal is very specific. But what I'm trying to say is that when you look at the overall picture, no one really keeps that up. And this is why sometimes we say all foods fit, but can you keep that amount? And most people can't. And that's what we say it's better to avoid so that you don't fall in that trap, because how many people really stick with that 5 anyways?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's like, truly, when's the last time you got stuffed, ate so many carrots that you were like, I'm so full, right? Like, that's never happened to really anybody. But how many times have you just continued to eat and eat and eat and eat things like M&Ms? And what makes an M&M lower glycemic, if you're looking at small quantities, is the peanuts, right? It's the healthy fat.
Yeah, and chocolate itself has fat, and that's why from that number you see, and that's why we said don't just look at the GI, look at the glycemic load. And again, go back to the power food. The power food do take into 2 things in consideration, and this is why the power food will be your best reference when it comes to go shopping, basically.
Yeah, and I just want to say, if all of this is going over your head, don't worry a thing. Right? We're giving you the why behind, we're giving you the science behind TLS's low glycemic impact eating. So like Suzanne said, follow your power foods list and you're going to be just fine.
Yes. And this is another thing that I like to, often enough, I like to talk about this because I think pictures says 1,000 words, right? And as you can see, 4 and 5 is red. Red is often say it's a stop, right? And it's understandable when your blood sugar is high, you go in store. I often say when you make a lot of money, you save more money. Okay, so when you eat food that are spike your blood sugar, you go and store them because you're not going to use them fast enough. However, you say, okay, but I don't get it. How come 5 when my blood sugar is low? How come I'm still saving? And I like to use the analogy is when you don't get enough, guess what your body, like when you don't make enough money, guess what we do? We save because we don't know when we eat again. So when you're not eating enough, when you're just eating it's a green salad and not balanced with the protein and the fiber and the whole and the healthy fat, that is when you are going to be in a hunger mode, in your deprivation. And when you're starving and you're hungry, guess what you do? Your body think, you're not feeding me. I'm going to save out because I don't know when you're going to feed me again. And you're doing exactly the opposite. So being too high and too low really kick you out of that, what we call a fat burning zone. We want to keep it in the middle. And this is why when in TL, it's not just about the power food, it's a combination of that power food to keep you in that blood sugar, is having that 3 meals with the 2 snacks also in keep you in that blue zone that we're looking for. So your body is actually burning fat while you're enjoying good, healthy food that nourish your body, basically.
For sure. When we spike our blood sugar or we skip meals and we get down to number 5, that's when we're in fat storage mode, right? And so we really want to stay out of spiking our blood sugar or getting to the point where it's so low that we're at that number 5, right? And when you're at that number 5, right, Suzanne, that's when you're like, even if you're like really disciplined and you're like, I'm going to have a healthy salad, right?
Yeah.
And you eat but your body literally needs something high glycemic to bring back up that blood sugar level, that blood glucose level. And so you might be really good and have a nice hearty salad, but guess what? A salad, all those vegetables, it's low glycemic. And that's when you go to the desk and you grab that piece of candy or the vending machine, or you feel like you're hungry still, or you want something else. And you're like, see, veggies don't make me full. And it's like,
And also,
no, that's not what's
right.
happening. You were at
Yes.
5, you skipped meals, you know, and then you went and had something low glycemic. And so it's how we eat throughout the day that contributes to this myth that vegetables aren't going to make you feel full, or that a salad with chicken on it isn't going to make you feel full. Well, it's not just about the foods you're putting in. It's about those 3 meals and 2 snacks throughout the day, keeping you nice and level in that blue fat burning zone. Where here's what I love about this, Suzanne, because I know a lot of people are trying a lot of things out there. One of them being like, you know, short feeding windows, long fasting windows. I'm sorry. I personally can't do that. I don't like depriving my body. I'm like, I get hangry. I'm like, nope, I need to eat throughout the day because this girl is a happy camper when she gets to eat food. You know, I mean, I don't want to deprive myself for most of the day to lose some pounds when I can eat throughout the day, feel satiated, feel energy, feel like I have a great mood, be in fat burning zone throughout the day. I flipping love TLS for that reason, because I love food. I don't know about the rest of you, but I love
Many
food.
people love food. But and one thing that I want to add is also that when you start to have a blood sugar going down, I said before, when you are very tight with money and you grab anything, you just grab anything. So even things that are may appear healthy, your body just grab onto it because your body thinks that you're starving. So that is something that you need to keep in mind. And also is that when your blood sugar starts to dip, you crave sugar. So you are working that you're working with your, like, you're kind of trying to fight that willpower. Your willpower will not be strong because your blood sugar will dictate and say, hey, that hormone is very strong. That hormone, and you say, hey, see, I fail again. It's my low willpower. It's not your low willpower. It's the way you eat that causes the blood sugar to respond certain way, and therefore your body reacts certain way. So never put yourself in that situation so that your willpower are not strong enough to deal with those hormonal responses, because the body is trying to let you know, don't put me in the too high or too low zone. I like to be in the middle. And I always say, think about the weather. You don't want to be too cold. You don't want to be too hot. You want to be comfortable. You stay in the comfortable zone is what your body wants, basically.
Oh, I love that. Very powerful. Very powerful. So we have a saying in TLS,
yes.
Protein and fiber at every meal makes losing fat no big deal.
Yes.
And protein and fiber at every meal also makes sure that we are, I mean, for those of you on detox, obviously we have a little bit of a lower protein intake this week because, you know, too much protein stops certain detox pathways, right? So we definitely want to have a full on awesome detox, you know, result at the end of this week. But as we move forward into the lifestyle of TLS, you know, protein and fiber at every meal makes losing fat no big deal, because that's also what helps that low glycemic impact. Fiber and protein both blunt the glycemic index and the impact. And so these are just some of the photos we've had from previous challenges where you're seeing healthy proteins with lots of vegetables, and vegetables are some of the most important sources of fiber, both soluble and, importantly, insoluble, because insoluble is acting like that scrub brush in your colon and just cleaning things out, and better out than in. So we definitely love our vegetables in TLS. And I know in most of our programs, we're looking at 6 to 9 cups a day. Now in detox, I mean, we're talking like 9 to 12 cups and unlimited. Why? Because we're really nourishing the body at a high level so that it will cleanse naturally. And a big part of that, you getting through this detox in getting through it successfully, is that fiber that helps you feel full, which is why you can always go to the veggies, okay? Because it's just great. So if you're kind of struggling with how do you ensure you get at least 6 cups of veggies in a day as we're continuing moving forward past detox week, is 3 cups, 3 colors, 3 times a day. So 3 cups in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you got a couple extra there in snacks, perfect. Like you throw some spinach and some zucchini in your shake, you're like adding 2 more cups. It's amazing, right? So there's lots of ways to add even more from here, but think 3 cups at breakfast, 3 cups at lunch, 3 cups at dinner. Try to get as much variety with color as possible, right? Color, Suzanne, means different nutrients, different antioxidants, right?
Definitely. And I think a lot of time is they want to know exactly what nutrient. I said, you know what? If you stick with colorful food, you get everything. Just again, go back to simplicity. Don't overcomplicate it thing. Okay, how many of the certain, like maybe the polyphenol I'm getting? How many of the phytoestrogen? No. Just stick with simple. Keep it. And I love that. 3 times 3 times 3. Make it simple that way.
Yep.
That's
3 cups, 3 colors, 3 times a day. Eat the rainbow and you're going to get all the nutrients and antioxidants. So that's the fiber piece. Obviously, we're going to, include more fibrous foods as we continue on our TLS programs here. But protein is the other really key aspect to blunting the glycemic index, providing the nutrition we need for tissue repair and all that fun stuff, all the things we need. It breaks down to, amino acids, which are really the building blocks of all of our tissues and all of our cells. So it's absolutely imperative we're getting enough protein. Now, all of our menu plans, you guys, have a suggested amount of protein for that menu plan. But if you really feel like you want to hone in, you want to personalize that journey, right? And you're asking, well, how many grams of protein do I need in a day? Specifically me, right? I'm 5'2", I don't need what somebody who's 6'3" needs, right? I am going to be at a different, and depending on your goals. So the minimum amount for daily intake is really your body weight in kilograms times 0.8. And that equals the amount of grams of protein per day. That's minimum, okay? Now, if you have a weight loss goal, you're going to take your kilograms in body weight times 1.2. And that's how many grams of protein per day you should take. If you're an athlete, if you're looking to gain muscle, if you're looking to, really, you're really performing and you want great performance, recovery, and endurance and all that fun stuff, you want to times your kilograms by 2, and that equals the grams of protein you need in a day. So, and from a serving size, if we're not really looking to measure our food, and have one of those measuring scales and get really anal, like this is what I love about TLS too, because if we had to get really anal about all of our measurements, I probably wouldn't have ever done TLS. And so I love using like our hand as, it's like my hand is perfect size for me, right? Like think about that versus somebody who's 6'2", like Coach Roach, right? He's like, his hand is like the size of my face. That's his protein intake. We love that, right? So our palm is a great indication of what a good serving size is for our protein. And so this can be a way. Now, if you don't know how to translate, for those of you in the United States that are using, and Canada that use pounds, Google can help you turn your pounds into kilograms. Okay, just ask Siri. All right. Go ahead, Sylvan.
And another thing that I want to add to the great thing with using your hand is I always say to my client, with scale, you need to bring a scale everywhere. How many people want to bring a scale everywhere? But you for sure your hand should be with you all the time. So it's so easy to measure. And my clients always had a crack. I said, well, your hand should be with you. So if your hand's not with you, I'll be very scared. Anyways, let's talk about one of my absolute favorite. I actually, when I started the TLS, I think the last one that I ever tried is actually the TLS shakes. And the reason why is because I don't like shakes. I find them very grainy. I find them very artificial. I just don't like them. So I was very easy. I jumped on core. I started taking everything. I was like, no, I don't really like shakes. And I said, you know what? Let me at least try it just because I don't like it. Maybe someone likes it. So I try it and boy, am I wrong. It's so good. And what makes these shakes are so great is because we're all busy, right? We often say we try to encourage you not to skip meals, but we know, I'm a mom with two very active girls and my schedule is packed. It's something that I can rely on in the morning when I'm rushed to drop them off in school is for me to make a meal out of it. It's not something I want to rely on it, but it's something that I can count on. And obviously there are occasions where you can have it for a daily snack, especially after workout or even before workout, right? For some people who say, I going to skip my breakfast, then I go work out, and you go too hangry, you're tired, you say, okay, let's skip my workout, or maybe make it short, like 10 minutes, and then leave the gym, which defeats the purpose of that workout. But it tastes so delicious. There's no charky aftertaste, and I love it. I try it and I couldn't believe it. I've been having it almost every day, not because I really want to have a meal replacement, but because this is my treat. It's so good. And the cookie and cream stole my heart. I'm telling you, it stole my heart. And in Canada, this is a global product. So whenever I go to US, I steal them back. I
That's
order
great.
lots of it and put them back because it's so good.
It
But
is. It's one of my favorites.
yeah, but let's talk about what makes other parts is good is because yes, it has protein, and we know there's a lot of protein shakes out there. 19 gram, is it a lot of protein? It is not a lot of protein. However, remember, in TLS, it's all about protein and fiber in every meal, make losing fat no big deal. And this one has fiber. I bet you, I want you to challenge you, go and find a shake that has 10 grams of fiber and tastes great. And I can tell you probably couldn't find one. And this is what I love about it. It has the 10 gram of fiber salt, which is an average American don't even get 10 gram a day. Here is only for one shakes and has the 19 gram protein. We're using whey protein, which is superior for muscle growth. And on top of that, it contains 24 vitamins and minerals. So this is not really a protein shake. I call this, obviously, as you can see, it's a nutrition shakes. So that's why it can be a meal replacement. And to make it on top of shakes, you said, why am I not a shakes person? Well, have you ever downloaded the shaking baking recipe? You have cookies, you have pancake, you have donut, you have protein bars, the list goes on. So if you have that sweet tooth, but you wanted to be still living that TLS lifestyle, this download, I encourage everyone to do so because this is such a great way, especially you want it, you want to, like, especially at work, if you have your coworker who like to buy baked goods and there's a lot of temptation, bake this and bring it to work so that when they show you their baked good, you show them your baked goods and they might fall in love with your baked good and you got yourself maybe another customer or you got yourself another person who loves TLS just as much as you do. So I love that. I love the fact it's so versatile. It's not just for shakes. There's so many ways of using the nutrition powder. So it's the nutrition shakes.
For sure. Muffins, cookies. I really like mixing this shake with my Trim Cafe and making like a meal in a mug. Oh my gosh. I just really love everything you can do with our TLS shakes for sure. And of course that's coming. Shakes are coming up into obviously phase 2 of the Shrink a Size if you're on the jump start or shakes come into play after detox week for those of you on detox. Okay, so please pay attention as well when you do download the shaking and baking, that again with TLS we're looking at recipes that are congruent with Shrink a Size, which are detox, fat shredder, jump start, rapid results, sure and steady. So no continued commitment.
In there.
Yeah, no continued commitment in there. So just stay on program, you guys, because 5 weeks, we're shrinking a size. Okay. So this is one of our stricter programs. Right. So, we're not allowing a whole lot of here and there sort of treats for just 5 weeks, you guys. And it's
That's it.
amazing what kind of results you can get. And then you can have a couple weeks off and then, go. And when I say off, I mean, on to continued commitment or, a more lenient program. For instance, if you're on Jumpstart, you might go to Rapid Results or Sure and Steady, and that will feel more lenient, right? So just know that you can be living the TLS lifestyle and feel like I often tell everyone is during the week, I'm Rapid Results, and on the weekend,
The
I'm
weekend.
Sure, yeah, I'm Sure and Steady
Yeah.
/ continued commitment lately. Um,
Yeah.
so,
And that is exactly what we just said earlier. That's what I love about TLS. It is so like it really works around it. Once you achieve your goal, you can actually make the weekend something different. I'm same with Melanie. Like weekdays, Rapid Result, right? And this past weekend, I'm totally continued commitment a little bit more, right? Then the next weekend, I'm back to Sure and Steady. I love the like how versatile and how easy it is. I don't feel like, okay, I fall off track and therefore I'm off track completely. I love the fact that I can jump back again. I can go on, and that's what I really love about it. It's so easy to be on track and so easy to be consistent because of the variety of the meal plan that you can follow and the plan that you have. And so that's what I love about it. And I really want people to say, don't feel like, oh my goodness, I cannot have continued commitment. You can. But for short term, it's almost like it's like when we go to school, we have to study really hard for the exam. Once the exam is over, you can go relax a little bit, but you can go back to school again because it's time for the next semester starting again.
For sure, you guys. So those of you again on Detox or Jumpstart, understand you're on one of our stricter programs to really jumpstart your results, clean your palate, clean the cells, put the liver on spa, get rid of the junk in the colon. I mean, understand what you're doing is absolutely so crucial to how we're moving forward, in the rest of the program. It really is so instrumental to your success moving forward because you're really creating a strong foundation. I think somebody just posted in the group, Sozanne. I'm just going to stop for a share for a second, and then we'll come back to that. So somebody had just posted in like, oh my gosh, I just, she's on day 3 or 4 of detox. And she's like, oh my gosh, that tangerine, it was like the sweetest I'd ever tasted. Well, that's because you're actually tasting your food now, right? And that's what's really amazing about TLS is as you clean that palate, you're going to begin to taste foods, maybe for the first time in a really long time, in years, right? So our senses and our taste buds are so dulled by the amount of sugar and corn syrup and fake sugars and all of this stuff that is in our processed foods that is so intense. And when you get rid of that for a week, you really clean out the palate. And now you're like, oh wow, broccoli actually does have a flavor. It's not just like this grody wood tasting stuff, right? I just had purple cauliflower from my friend's garden, and it was the best tasting cauliflower I think I've ever had. A1 because it came straight from the garden, but number 2 because
I love that.
it just when you're eating clean, you can really, really, really feel that.
I totally same here. I had over the summer I had a friend that grows tomato. Boy, they're so good. Honestly, I was eating it. Oh my God. It's like, I think the way I eat it is when how people stuff themselves with jelly beans. I was like stuffing myself with these cherry tomato because it was like the squirrel. It was so good. And I want to say, you'd be quite surprised that once your palate change, that when you go back to eat the cakes and whatever that you used to eat, you were shocked how sweet it is, but you actually don't enjoy the way you were thinking. Like you imagine, you said, I used to love that. I used to love that cheesecake. And now that cheesecake doesn't taste great anymore. I said, congratulations. This is what the kind of the side effect of healthy eating. You cleanse your palate and you actually don't like those unhealthy foods naturally without forcing yourself and depriving yourself. You actually don't enjoy it. And that takes time. And that's why in this whole program, a lot of people find the hardest is the detox. but it is the most rewarding because afterward your body said, thank you for taking care of me. And you see the changes in you, you say, thank you for myself taking care of myself. I think it's really that combination. And every year, no matter what, and I'm eating as clean as possible, there are times where I go a little off, but I know I can always go back to my detox. So every year is, I always say deep cleaning, right? Your house, no matter how often you maintain your house, it gets dirty, right? So you do about once to twice at least of a deep cleaning, and the rest of the time you just do, maintenance work, right? And this is exactly what the program is about. So I often say the how often you deep clean is how dirty your house is. If you keep it clean, you don't need to deep clean as often, and you make it messy, then you know what you need to do basically.
For sure. I think Bernadette can relate to what we were talking about. She's raising her hand here and saying, yes, that's me. I'm cleaning the palette, right? Okay, so most of you, like probably 99.9% of you are on our isotonic daily essentials, which is really filling in the gaps with that nutrition, from the micronutrient standpoint. Same with our shakes, which have 24 vitamins and minerals in it as well. So we talked about protein. That's one of the macronutrients, right? Suzanne, and then, carbohydrates, which is another macronutrient, which is, how they measure glycemic impact. But the micronutrients are so important
Very
too.
important, so
Yeah.
important. And I think when you hear the name micro, you think they're a micro player. They're a very important micro player. Okay. And when we talk about micronutrient, it's vitamins and minerals, and they do play a role. Just think about just here's a list of things that they do, and so much more: energy production, immune function, blood clotting, right? Bone growth, bone health, fluid balance, and many, many other progress. So I often say when these mini factors are not helping you, weight loss will be a struggle. So if you say, you know what, I dial in my protein, I was really careful about my carb, I was eating a good amount of healthy fat, but I'm not getting results. Maybe your body is not getting those phytonutrient, or in this case, the vitamins and minerals to help support that. Just imagine an engine. The engine needs its nutrient. If you're not giving those nutrients, the engine is not going to be performing optimally or efficiently. And this is very important.
Yeah. And so our meal plans are really focusing on these macros, right? Making sure you're getting enough protein, those healthy fat choices, remember healthy fats, on the power foods list, and those carbohydrates, which are showing up as fruits and vegetables on your power foods list. So our meal plans are really focused on this, but we have support within the TLS program through the daily essential isotonic line. Now, depending on which country you are in, you're getting the isotonics. It may not look exactly like this particular box, but you are getting isotonic support for those micronutrients, right? So the multivitamin, activated B complex, calcium, and that amazing antioxidant OPC3, actually three antioxidants in one. OPC3. So this is ensuring that you're getting all of the things you need, and you're taking that typically first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, right? So Zan, the delivery system, I mean, I think this is probably one of, is this like one of your most popular products you share with your patients and your clients?
Especially I love the fact that right now it comes in these packet, right? So, a lot of time we get busy, and I often say, think about it. There are definitely capsules out there, but drinking your supplement is so much easier than swallowing the different type of supplement. Just think about that. And second is that having a packet, and that's why I love the name Daily Essential. The name says it all. It is a daily essential needs, right? It takes the thinking out from you. So if you're busy, I always say in your purse, throw in a few bags, like a few packet. Even when you rush to work, you can always make that shakes. And because it's 4, we know it's 8 ounces of water, which I think is so simple. If you were to buy those bottled water, those are about 16 ounces. So once I drink half, It's 8 ounces. I pour it in, I shake it, I can drink it. That's why I love it. It's just so simple. Again, go back to simplicity is really the key. Simplicity means that you're being consistently nourishing yourself with those micronutrients, the vitamins and the minerals, so that your body is going to be effectively and efficiently doing what they're supposed to do. And when you're not giving them the fuel that they need, they are not going to perform the way you want it to. So it's a two-way street. We're the driver, but if the engine is not working, it doesn't matter how great of a maneuvering you do, it's not going to get you far. But when we combine with good maneuvering, which is from the menu plan, learning about those key things, localizing impact, then combined with now we're going to make that engine works faster and more effective and efficiently, then you're going to hit and able to get to your destination as soon as you can. And that's great, because who wants to wait forever? But at the same time, there's a certain amount of, I guess, patience that needs to be part of, because your engine is not in good shape for a long time. We need time to rewire that engine a little bit. Give it some time, but when you have the right nutrient, it will work. It will work. Just trust that process. Just trust the process. That's really
Yeah,
why
this
I want
is
to
one
share.
of the most important habits that you can get into as far as your supplementation routine with TLS is this morning isotonic routine. You know, get up first thing you do before you brush your teeth, before you do anything, right? Mix your isotonics with the right amount of water, 2 ounces per serving, and drink it on an empty stomach. Wait that 20 minutes, because most of you are doing the 4 isotonics in the morning, but 5 minutes per serving. Wait that time, and then complete the rest of your morning routine. Now in detox, we've got quite the complex morning routine.
Yes.
That's going to
Just a little bit more.
yeah, there's a little more going on in the morning on detox week, but that's okay, because we're flushing the liver and all that fun stuff. So you guys, this is truly something that I have not lived without for nearly 17 years. Like, I will not go a morning without my daily essentials. I love the isotonics line for the powerful delivery, that 95% of those nutrients are being delivered into the small intestine. Now that's where all the absorption happens into the bloodstream. So that's why we wait that 5 minutes, because we really per serving, because we really want that, allow that nutrients to absorb into the, first of all, to be delivered into the small intestine and then absorbed into the bloodstream. What's really amazing is that within 5 to 15 minutes of taking your isotonics, is that those nutrients are detectable in your blood. So that rapid delivery and that maximum absorption that we're creating with this amazing daily essentials and isotonics is really going, like Suzanne said, is really going to make a big difference. Now, but if you kind of have, a really kind of overused, clogged up engine, you got to give it some time.
Yeah.
That's why we're detoxing. That's why we're on Shrink Size. So you really understand that you're in this process of rebuilding, cleaning out, rebuilding, cleaning out, rebuilding, cleaning out. And just know that you're at the right time, you're at the right place, you're doing the right things, and results will happen if you focus on those daily small steps. That's why those tracking sheets, that's why the meal prep and the planning is so crucial, because all you have to worry about, you don't have to worry about doing this perfectly. All you got to worry about is, checking boxes, tracking that progress, and following the instructions in all the free tools we've been giving you. So I'm so excited, because we're only really a few days into Shrink a Size. This is our second Monday night Zoom. Next week, we're going to have a special guest as well, and another of our favorites that people love to learn from. So I'm very excited. But I just want to say, Suzanne, thank you so much for agreeing to help me out tonight, sharing with everyone your knowledge and all your fun metaphors, and just really helping everybody understand the power of low glycemic impact eating. You guys, so really, really, really just excited that you're here. All right.
Yeah.
And
thanks for inviting me. I love to be here and love to share about glycemic impact. This is what I love to talk about all the time. Thank you.
for sure. Thanks so much. All right. So one of the things I'm going to do here really quickly